Dear students, dear friends, you have now understood the summary of the story TOODEAR by Leo Tolstoy. How did you like the summary? How did you like the story? Doesn't this one match to somewhere, some kind of the judiciary system that we are living in? The people who have really committed crime, they just go away unpunished. People who are innocent, they are in the prison. Yes, let us not worry about it. My main concern is how to write the answers. How can we get more marks writing the answers in the examination? TOODEAR, though, because it is a story, not many questions can be asked because the story, the whole thing, it revolves around these few questions only. So let me just correct it, and I've written 4-mark questions here, 4-mark questions, and also the 6-mark questions as well. 6 marks also, because nothing more than this can be asked. Nothing more than these questions can be asked. You can't write anything more than this also. So there are 3 or 4 questions that really are very important, and these are the ones as we have already written on the board. First, very important thing is, what were the arguments put forth by the prisoner for not going out of the prison? That is one important question, wherein you can write down the answer in the form of points, remember it in the form of points, and then you can elaborate on these answers. Remember one thing, when you are writing these long answers, either for 4-mark or for 6-mark, you need to write at least 2 or 3 lines of introduction to it. 2 or 3 lines regarding who the author is, what does the story talk about, what does this story actually tell to you about. Don't write the whole summary, okay? It is just a 1-line summarization of the whole story. Just write Leo Tolstoy's TOODEAR, talks about the judiciary system, talks about the funny loopholes, the negative things, the drawbacks in the judiciary system, and how the King of Monaco had to face these loopholes or the negative things. Having written all these things, you'll just start away with the points that are required for the answer. This question, arguments put forth by the prisoner. You remember in your textbook there is a big paragraph wherein only once the prisoner is given a chance to speak. The commission, the ministers ask him to run away. My dear friend, why don't you run away? Even the king does not bother if you run away. Then he puts forth his argument. He says, why should I run away? Because I don't want to run because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these points. He puts forth his argument. First thing he says is, you have ruined my character. I have been labeled as a prisoner. I have been labeled as a murderer. So my character assassination has happened. I have lost my character. I have lost my name. And what will people talk about me when I go outside? They'll always brand me, label me, call me as a prisoner, as a murderer. So he says, you have ruined my character, so I don't want to go out now. Second thing he says is, if I go out, I can't work. Because 1 year in this country, and in 1 year, I have lost the habit of working. I have been made to stay in this prison or there, waiting for my death sentence, waiting for my lifetime imprisonment, putting myself in one prison here, one cell there. I was just made to be lazy, and I have gone out of the way. Going out of the way means losing the touch, losing the ability to work. I have gone out of the way of working. I have become lazy now, so I can't work at all. The third thing he says is, you people have treated me very badly. See, they haven't whipped him, they haven't beaten him, they haven't put him to shame. Bidil nilsi on mana maryada tegedu. Nothing like that is done. But still, he doesn't like the way he was treated. He was from here to there, and from this punishment to that punishment, and he was made to stand in front of the king again and again. That itself, he says, is treated badly. You have treated me very badly, so I don't want to go away from here. And then he gives the reason. Treated badly, he says, first of all, you sentenced me to death. You did not execute it at all. You did not put it into practice. This death sentence was changed into lifetime imprisonment, and then you've done all this without asking my permission. You changed according to your own wish. You kept on changing the punishment. You did all those things. You did not ask me at all. Later on, when I was put into the life imprisonment cell, there was a guard put there. But later on, you took away that guard also. I was waiting for my food to come. Nobody came. Nobody gave me the food. All I had to do was take all pain, go myself to the royal kitchen and bring my own food. That's what he says. The guard was taken off and I had to bring food by myself. All by myself I had to do. You did not look after me properly at all. You have treated me very badly. Therefore, I don't want to go. And finally, he says, after doing all these things, just because you can't take care of me, now you are asking me to run away. I don't want that. So all these points he says, and then he says, no, I don't want to run away because of all these things. I don't want to go out of the prison. So these points, if you remember, write it down somewhere near the text or near wherever you can write it down. You just make note of these points or at least mark them in your textbook. Remember these points as the answer for this, and then in your answers, you can elaborate them. Just elaborate and make it in the form of sentences, not more than one page. I think this could be a beautiful question to answer. Moving on to the next question, this is also one of those important questions. Why was he finally, he here means the prisoner, why was he finally subjected to lifetime imprisonment from death sentence? Why did the king change? So you can give 3 reasons. The king, he commissioned, he brought all those people, starting with the introduction, giving all these things. Main things that you will be writing is there was no guillotine in Monaco to give the death sentence. There was no guillotine present. Therefore, they go out and then they ask the French government, which actually gives them a heavy quote of 16,000 francs. And then they ask the government of Italy, which gives them 12,000 francs, and all these are highly expensive ones. The king cannot bear the expenses. Therefore, he changes from death sentence to lifetime imprisonment. So this could be the answer. Again, take note, keep it in your mind. When you are writing all these things, as we have been discussing, you will have to underline the important points. These words that we have taken, they are almost from your text. So whenever you write this, these same words have to be there. And whenever you write them, you'll have to write with underlining. When you underline, again, you will be attracting the interest and the attention of the valuators. Next 2 slightly not very important but possible questions are this. Though gambling is a dirty business, the king practices it in his country. Why? You will have to write down that there is no other income for the country. The only income that he could get was through gambling or through the roulette houses, and the person he would give more than half of it, and therefore he had to practice this kind of gaming in his country. So you'll have to write a little bit about Monaco, the population of Monaco, how big it is, and what are the expenses the king has to bear. He has his ministers, he has his army of 60 men and all those things. If you write that and write down this, I think that should be sufficient. The last one, describe the situation after the prisoner was sentenced to death. Again, the repetition of this one. What happened? Sorry, not the repetition, it is the previous one. When he is sentenced to death, this thing you will have to write. There was no guillotine, so they went to the French government, they asked all those things you will be writing. How did they ask? What did the French government charge? What did the Italian government charge? Why did he shift from French government to Italian government? What was the similarity between Monaco and Italian government? Why was he so confident that the government of Italy would give him the guillotine machine? And what was the hitch in the executing of death sentence? All these things you write with a light kind of elaboration and underlining the points. That should be fine. Either they ask for 4 marks or for 6 marks. All these things, all these points written neatly and underlined, that will definitely fetch you enough marks. Good luck.